What's good with y'all? What's good? What's good? What's good with y'all? What's good? What's good? We tuning in for another video, man. And today, giving y'all some insight on the engines, man. I said I need to start giving more insight on the engines, and you know, converters. We just gonna talk about everything in general, man. How you can pick up how you can pick up a little power with little simple bolt-ons and stuff. Cause people, I get asked that all the time. I get a lot of DMs on Instagram. And it's kind of hard to just go into a whole long conversation with everybody. So I hope those people find this video and check it out and sit down and just really listen and stuff. And we're gonna talk about the main topic of the video is the block, though. I want to talk about limitations of stock blocks and stuff, and the benefits of going to an aftermarket block. Even though I don't have one right here by my side to show y'all, but maybe one day I pick one up and set it right here beside y'all so y'all can see. I can show you in real life, right by side, the differences. So I'm gonna pull out the block. I got the block pulled out. I just bought for R&B, and we're gonna get to it. So y'all stay. Oh yeah, y'all. Look at this. I forgot to tell y'all. Got another one in. They finally got restocked. Called car cover. This is a car cover for the truck. Called the one I had been using with wifey car cover, but her car about to come home. So yep, the money Carlo about to come home, so keep an eye out on her channel so y'all can see that thing. It's a whole new car. That's all I can say. It's a whole new car. So we got another car cover, man. They the same, the ones I always use, but it's for the truck or brown coat. Cause brown coat about to come home too. And I should have y'all a video coming on there to update. So, but anyway, let's get to it. Man, maybe I need to slide this thing on that. So, yeah, bad boy. I caught on this one. I caught on this one right here. Yes, indeed. I caught on this one. Already 30 over. I like, man. And it's some good too. It's a good block. Now, like I said, the overbore. Man, that don't look a bit. I don't know. Y'all probably see. I don't want to make it too bright. Like I put y'all in heaven. Let's go to this side. Let me see. Let me see. So this is a stock 350 block. They call it stock block, where you can identify an engine. You can look right here. Cause a lot of people done got fooled before, man. They don't know if they got 305s, 400s. All of them look the same. Even the 400s. Now the only way you can tell 400 apart, they got 3 freeze plugs on one of the sides. Some of the 400s got 2 freeze plugs, and the best 400 block you can get is a 509 block. I had one, had a whole engine. I sold it when I was doing cheapskate. But what I mean by 509, cause I just said a bunch of stuff at one time. The way you identify what block you have or what size engine it is, unless they done had it bored out, but you can identify the base. You look right here. Your casting numbers, which this will be the back of your engine where your transmission bolt to. So you have to lean over your car, look right here at the casting numbers. These are your casting numbers. And when I say 509, I mean those the last 3 numbers of the casting number. So if you got 5 or 400 with 509 on the end, the last 3, you got yourself a 9400. And they just supposedly thicker walls. It's a stronger block supposedly. But they're just something to throw out there. But this, or sometimes they'll have 5.7. Some of them got GM 5.7, and like some of them got GM 5.0, which is a 305. But you can always go to moretech.com or something like that. Just type in Moretech, and you can look up the casting number, or you can look it up on Google, and you can pull up exactly what year model block it is and all that. Now, the rear main seal. How do you know which rear main seal you got? As y'all can see, this is a two-piece. That's a two-piece seal. It's a split right there. So this is a two-piece rear main seal. Now the easy way is to identify by what side your oil stick is on. If your oil stick is on the driver's side, right there. Nah, don't trip, y'all. Where's it? Wait a minute. I'm trying to show y'all. Oh, I'm tripping. Right here, the head ain't on it. But if your oil stick enters in the driver's side, you got a 2-piece rear main seal. If you got a passenger side dipstick, you got a 1-piece rear main seal, that's what cheapskate engine is. Cheapskate is a 1-piece rear main seal motor. What does that mean? It's a full 1-piece seal, and it's a newer model block. It's a newer model engine block. More than likely fuel injected. A fuel injected had the throttle body injection, which is TBI, or just fuel injection basically. So now that you know how to identify your block, you got your casting number, you know how to identify you got 2-piece rear main seal. And I'm just teaching people that basic stuff because somebody might be wanting to buy their own parts. Another thing, your lifters. Now you'll see some blocks, like I just told y'all, this is an early model block. Oil stick on the driver's side. The ones with the oil stick on the passenger side, which are late model blocks, 1-piece rear main seal. The lifters, if you go on roller, you got to get a 300 thousandths taller lifter. So if you're looking on summit.com, you're looking for a lifter, it'll say 0.300. Those the lifters you have to have if you're going solid roller. Now the newer model blocks, like if I had cheapskate block, I need to go get it. I can show y'all. It got provisions right here, like it's drilled and tapped. 1, 2, 3. 3 bolts go right here, and it's called a spider. And then a tray is, you can bolt a tray up right here, and it keeps the lifters in place. Cause those engines came with factory hydraulic rollers, which you could throw all that away. Throw that spider away. So if you're gonna go to basically any roller cam with that uses a link bar, roller lifters, you got to get them 300 thousandths taller, cause the lifter bores are different on a newer model block. So if you know you got a newer model block, you take the oil pan out, you see those 3 holes right there, then you know you got one. And if you're gonna go roller with the link bar, you got to get them 300 thousandths taller. You got to remember that. That's something good to know. All right, what else? Let's move on to the mains, cause now we're getting into performance wise. All right, so how much power are these blocks good for? Now, if you're going if you're making about 700 or something like that, you might get ready to tell these things bye-bye. Now, I know from buddies, personal experience, turbo had boost on it, block went bye-bye. The parts were good, block just couldn't take it. So now you hear these sonic tests and all of that. People depend on machines to tell you this. People depend on machines to get everything right. Now, sometimes blocks defy the odds of what a sonic test say. Sometimes you can get away, and if people out there that did it, they're making that type of power, and for some reason they're still living. I mean, it's not like GM gonna produce every block exactly the same. They might look like it, but you might have a freak of nature. So you got a sonic test that tell you, hey, this and that, or this block ain't no good. Then you have some that tell you block ain't no good, and it defy the odds. But then you have one might tell you the block good, it's a good strong block, and then you bust that mug. But just know you ain't finna take one of these and go making no 1,000 horsepower and all of that and think the block gonna live. It's time to step up to a World Products block. They the best blocks in my eyes. Unless you going, you got the Broadex aluminum blocks, they good too. But then you going to some exotic stuff, billet blocks and all that. Got MBE and all the other manufacturers. But we ain't getting into all that. There's some real hot rod stuff. But okay, so you see these blocks, you hear this all the time. They 4-bolt mains, right? 2-bolt main, 4-bolt main. GM designed this and actually thought this was a good idea. They figured this would be stronger, and it's really not. And I happen to have 2 4-bolt main blocks. Now, if you ain't trying to make crazy power, yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it ain't gonna work. But reason being, right here, the material get thin. Look at that. Y'all see that? Let me see. Let me make sure y'all see. Look how the bolt enter. It's thin. It's in the thinnest spot. So that's why they say the 2-bolt main blocks are stronger. Cause you got just these 2 main caps and they go in, the bolt goes in the thickest part. Right here it go in the thin part, which ain't good cause you got less material right there. Now you can go to splayed main caps. They call them splayed main caps. That's an advantage of an aftermarket block, like a dart block. When you get a dart block, they got splayed main caps. And what that means is they 4-bolt mains like this. 2 bolts go straight in, but these bolts go in at an angle like that, back into the thick part. They go in at an angle. So when you got splayed main caps, it's strong. It's strong as hell. And if you got a 2-bolt GM block, you can actually go to a splayed main cap. You can buy them at Summit, splayed main caps, and you can take it to your machine shop, and they can have it. You can turn it into a splayed block, and it'd be stronger. So if you got the opportunity, and you know you're trying to really make some power, and all you can get is a GM block, get you a 2-bolt block. Now for what I'm doing, this is fine. This is fine for what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm just trying to tiptoe right over 400. So I'm not going radical on none of that stuff. So this gonna be fine. But that's something else, cause that affects the power. Alright. Now the bore. These cylinders gonna have to be cleaned up. It's actually gonna end up being a 385 stroker. So well, let me skip. Hold on, let me jump. I showed y'all this a little bit. A stroker, when you creating a stroker engine, I wish I had another block. Well, I do. I'm not. I got Dolo old engine in there, the budget engine, but I'm not about to carry that thing out here. But you right here, you could tell. See, they don't come like that. You see that? That's been clearance. That groove in it. When they say they got to clearance the block for the crankshaft, it's because the stroke is so big. A 350 came with a 3.480 stroke crank. A 400 stroke is a 3.750. So what they doing, when you get a stroker crankshaft, they taking the it's a 400 crank, but it's made for a 350. Got 350 mains, the journals and stuff size for a 350, which this one I'm talking about, the journals. These are smaller than a 400, but it's got the same stroke as a 400. That's why if you go to the website, they say stroker crankshaft. Back in the day, they used to just put a regular 400 crankshaft in there, but you had to do some machining too. A lot more machining. With the stroker crankshaft, it gonna fit right here like it's supposed to, but then you still got a clearance right here. It's caused the it's so much more stroke than a 3.480. So this, you come in, cause normally this goes straight. All of this right here goes straight down. So you have to cut this material out right here. You got to cut this stuff out so it'll clearance the crankshaft and the rods too, cause you can run a 6-inch rod or you can run a 5.7. That's the length. The way you measure your rods, if you got one off and you measure from center to center, from the center of the hole where it bolts to the where the wrist pin go through the piston, to the bottom center where it connects to the crankshaft. Center to center. That's how you measure your rod length. And like I said, I'm gonna be using 6-inch rods on R&B. So that's another thing. You gotta have that cut out when you're gonna run a stroker crankshaft. You making a 380, a 383, 388, a 40 over. And how do you get a 383? 3.75 stroke crank, bore the engine 30 over. Which this is what this is. This your bore, your cylinder bore. This is 30 over already, which they just come out and make this bigger. And then you know you start leaving less and less material. So 30 over with a 3.75 stroke crank is a 383. 40 over, which is what I'm going, is a 385 stroker. If you go 60 over, like Dolo old engine is in there, it makes it a 388 stroker, 388 cubic inches. So, and you can actually go to a bigger crank. You can go to a 3.875 stroke crank in a 352, and you can turn a 350 into a small block 396, and you can turn it into a small block 408, which you pushing the board in. But you can make 408 cubic inches out of a 350, and that actually won't be a 3.875 stroke crank. You trying to stuff a 4-inch stroke crank in there, and I do not recommend doing that. Not at no stop block. Okay, so now with this, something else with stop blocks versus dart blocks. Right here, water jackets, if you see dart blocks, it's much more bigger. And this right here ain't nothing, it's just open right there. If a dart block got a whole lot more material in here, it's sealing, it's stronger, and then it's some humps or something down here too, like down here on the dart block. But what it does is more water runs around the cylinders and stuff, so it cool the engine off better. It keep your engine temps in check. And you'll see them in the description, they got priority main oiling, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Like the way these engines work, these engines back in the day, they oil the lifters first, cause it felt like they're more important. A dart block oil your main bearings and stuff first. These right here, it oils your mains bearings first, and then your lifters and all that. And they say that work better. So it got priority main oiling. And if you look at it right here, if you seen a stock big block, when you take the intake off, you got holes right here so you can see the camshaft. It's like 3 slits right up in here in the valley, and you can see the camshaft. You can look in there and see the camshaft. A dart block just like that, it got them 3 slits in it. You can look and you can see the load to your camshaft. So I like that. Cause like that time Dolo old engine wiped the load, I could have looked in there and saw it. Could have looked right in there and saw it. So there's something there. And a dart block too. A dart block, if you go and roller lift, solid roller or hydraulic roller, same thing apply. You gotta get lifters that are 300 thousandths taller. They 300 thousandths taller. So you get in the dart block, no, it does not use factory length lifters. Now the thing I hate about taller lifters, you can't just pull them out. Like if you need to change them, you're gonna have to take the whole head out cause they taller. You got to pull the whole head out just to get the lift out. So that's something I don't like. But you can deal with it. Another thing about a dart block too, the freeze plugs. You gotta they use a different freeze plug. They don't use freeze plugs these size. You have to get Dart brand freeze plugs. They don't use them this size. That's another thing. And the Dart big block, man, it's a lot of features to it too. Pretty much about the same stuff, I'm telling y'all. But since I got a small block right here, I'm just talking about the Dart small block. What else? And the Dart block, let me tell y'all something, man. They say they'll tell you, they say the Dart block good for, I think, 650 horsepower. Nah, it'll hold more than that. Trust me, it'll hold more than that. But like, I think it really for them to try to push for you to get that little M block, the Iron Eagle, cause the blocks get higher and higher. More people use the Dart SHP block, but then you got the little M and the Iron Eagle, and the price jump up big time. But it depends on how many cubic inches you're trying to build. Like the little M block, you can bore it out to 4.165, which is like a 40 over 400. Same rules still apply as a standard 400 block. Most people don't like boring the 460 over. I done spoke about this before. Some people in the comments say, I did this and this and that. I told you, everybody did something one time. But trust me, listen to me. Everybody, you're going to have a cooling issue. It make the wall too thin. A 400 already don't have more material than a 350 block. That's a fact. So, it been plenty of time I done said something. Somebody tried to come and contradict what I said just to find out they were wrong. So I'm telling y'all, man, listen to me. 40 over. If Dart, you got this aftermarket block which got a whole lot more material, cause the blocks are heavier. The blocks are heavier. They got a whole lot more material than a regular GM block. And they say, don't take this past 40 over. Why the hell would you take a GM block, which is weaker, less material, past 40 over? So just think about that now. Come on, think about that. So you can take a Dart block 4.165 maximum board. That's what they recommend. And you get the little M block or the Iron Eagle. You can take them. That's, you know, you can get them with raised cam location and stuff. That's another benefit too. Like of these blocks, you got your cam location right here, right? That's where your cam shall go. So the block, the deck height is different. You hear people talking about deck height. What does that mean? The deck height is taller. Everything taller basically. Like when you're building a 632, the deck height different. You cannot build a 632 out of a factory, nothing. You can't take no Gen 5 big block, none of that. The deck height different. The rod different. It has a huge crankshaft in a 632. And same thing with these. Like you want to build a small block 454. You can't do it with a stock block. You cannot do it. The size of the cam shafts is different. They got 50 mil. They use 50 millimeter cam shafts, which that's what ride on cam bearings. But like I said, these blocks will tell you this is a 50 millimeter cam journey. Then the raised is raised the location, so it doesn't sit in the factory location in them block. And this is an Iron Eagle block, so this is moved up, everything higher. And why do they do that? Cause a small block 454 take a rod longer than 6 inches. It's a little bit longer than 6 inches. I think it's 6.22 something to build a small block 454. And that rod get to moving, it's gonna hit some stuff. It'll run into your cam load. It'll run into your cam and all of that. And that's another reason why you have to clearance the rods too. You have to clearance the rods sometimes strokers. But it get to moving, that long rod, everything got to be taller. Your deck height, your cam got to be raised. It use a hella long rod. The crankshaft huge, like everything, man. You just can't do it out of a stock block. You can't even use a SHP, a dark SHP block, and make a small block 454. So it's stuff like that you need to know, man. When you decide on what you want to do, you need to have that figured out beforehand. Now, when you building exotic cubic inches and stuff, it's about best to get an aftermarket block. They cost money. They start at you might well say $2,000, and then they go upwards to $4,000. I'm saying for the street engines, but you like, man, it rough starting now, but it depend on what you want to do, how much power you trying to make, and have a peace of mind. Cause I mean, it's a lot of stuff you can get done, some impressive stuff. Impressive stuff been done with stock blocks, but they got limitations, man. They just is what it is. So what else? I'm trying to make sure I'm not leaving nothing out. Priority main oiling over this, that's different when it comes to stock block versus aftermarket block. The bore size about the same, pretty much. Oh, they already come clearance too. You ain't got to cut material out for a stroke or crankshaft. So when you get a dark block or aftermarket block period, they already clearanced for the crankshaft. But just know, when you getting into that stuff, you ain't finna just take stock, like I said, regular free plugs and cam plugs and all that, and just, hey, they'll work. It don't work. It don't work. So yeah, man, that's something to keep in consideration. And like I said, I want to do I was gonna talk about converters and stuff and all that other stuff, but I don't want to run this video over. I'm gonna start doing y'all little tech videos and stuff. I'm gonna do another video this week. I said I won't do it in this one, but I see how much time it took talking about the block, which is a lot of information still. But I'm gonna do a video talking about bolt on stuff you can do to like stock 350s and stuff like that, for people that just they ain't trying to really race. They want to burn some tires or turn their wheels over. I got that video coming too. I started shooting it, I just haven't finished, cause some more information I want to give people. Cause people asking, man, how do I turn these 24s over 26s or 28? What I need to do. So I'm gonna put y'all a combination build sheet together where you can do just that. It's gonna be enough to turn your wheels over this and that. It won't break the bank and all of that, man. And I'm gonna start offering build sheets for a price. I'm gonna start offering build sheets, which is basically just a combination. I'm doing all the hard work for you. I'm taking all the guesswork out, finding all the parts for you, put you a combination together to make XYZ amount of power. Because I have done 3 successful combinations that make some decent power, proven. I'm not saying who or what, but proven. But like I said, I'm gonna start doing build sheets cause people ask me all the time. People been asking me if I'm gonna do build sheets. I've been getting messages cause people be wanting me to put combination stuff on together, and that stuff do take time, man. It take time cause you gotta look at piston piston the valve clearance and all that stuff, and it's a lot of stuff. You guys try to stay within a person's budget, understand what they're trying to do. It's a lot, man. Looking up this stuff, cause it ain't just let me pick out this camshaft. You got to know if they want a stroke, or do they need a small base circle, lower base circle camshaft. A lot of people oversize their runners. A lot of people, even people that's racing, they going pretty fast. They still running around with an oversized runner or oversized carburetor. And some I see with the LS engines, people always run around with an oversized intake because it look pretty. A lot of people get these turnaround intakes, turnaround style, and don't even need it cause it look pretty. I mean, you get on there, you see your numbers on the dyno, but the thing about power, you don't miss what you never find. And most people not gonna spend that money like, man, I'm finna try a different intake or a different head or a different carburetor. I'm gonna go spend another $700, $1,000 and try this out. The whole time you probably pick up a decent amount of power, but who gonna try that? So the average person don't miss what they never find, so you never know until you go down the line another time and you have to build something else and you like, you know what, I'm gonna downgrade. And then you be like, God dang. Trust me, a lot of people, I learned from back in the day, had oversized carburetors and stuff. Don't take all that sometime, man. So I'm gonna start doing build sheet for people. Like I said, for people that want that, I throw that out there more or whatever. And like I said, that's why I take all my stuff to the dyno. I'm doing the build sheet on, well, I'm doing the combination on R&B. It's all out of my head. It's something I'm putting together. It's gonna be a 400 rear wheel horsepower engine too. And then I'm gonna do some natural aspirated down the line too. That'll make over 400 horses too. So yeah, man, that's it for this video, man. Like I said, more informative video. I got more coming. Like I said, I got that video about the wheels. Then I got the video update on brown coat coming. And we got the video on R&B coming because I told y'all putting the AC on. So yeah, that's it, y'all. That's it, y'all. Appreciate y'all. BCG. I'm out.